Welcome back to the deep dive. We're carrying on with our look into cognitive behavioral therapy, that ABCDE framework we've been talking about.
Hmm.
And last time, we left things on a bit of a strange note, didn't we? We sort of decided to skip B for beliefs and jump right over to C for
Yeah,
consequences.
it does sound a bit like we're messing with the alphabet order,
Right.
but
Mhm.
there really is a solid reason for doing it that way. B, the core belief, that's the really deep, often subconscious reason why we react. It's like the operating system running quietly in the background. You don't really see it directly.
And that's the tricky part, isn't it? Especially when you're just starting out. You can't just, reach in and pull out this core belief. So the question for you listening is, okay, where do you begin?
Exactly.
And we figured, well, you start with what you can actually notice, what you can see and feel.
Precisely. So our goal today, really, is to unpack C, that observable reaction. Think of C and A, the activating event, as your only real starting clues, like footprints at a crime scene.
Yeah.
You need to look closely at the consequence, the reaction, to figure out the hidden B.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap that again, just to be super clear. A is the trigger, the thing that happens.
Right, the event, the situation.
B is that core belief, often hidden, driving things. And C is the consequence, the reaction. And that first thought you have, that's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not B, is it? That's actually part of C.
Exactly right. B is the foundation, the bedrock, that quick thought, this is unfair.
Yeah.
That's like the first ripple on the surface. It's part of the C, triggered by A based on the B. We use that thought and everything else in C to work backward to the B.
Okay, got it. So let's dive into C then. When we talk about consequences, what exactly are we looking for? It feels like it must be more than just saying, I felt angry.
Oh, much more. Yeah. C is basically your entire reaction to A, the trigger. And because it's happening inside you or through you, it's actually, well, easier for beginners to observe than A sometimes. But it's complex.
Yeah.
C usually shows up in 3 layers.
Day layers.
Yeah,
Okay.
and often in a specific order, kind of reflecting how our brains evolved.
What's the order? What comes first?
The fastest, the most primal layer is physiological or behavioral,
Yeah.
pure instinct. It's what your body does before you even really register it.
Like heart racing.
Heart racing, yeah, or maybe sweating, going red, clenching your jaw. Or it could be subtler things too, like suddenly you need to check your phone or, wanting to tidy up frantically.
That's a really good point, the subtle behavioral Cs. I think people might miss those, like the urge to put something off or suddenly needing to clean. They might just see it as, well, just doing stuff, not anxiety showing up physically.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That foot tapping, that muscle tension, just as much as C's yelling is. So that's layer 1. Then comes layer 2. The emotional response. How you feel. Exactly, those quick flashes of emotion. And then finally, the slowest part, layer 3, the cognitive irrational bit, what you actually think. The immediate self-talk, the justification, the judgment that pops into your head.
When I first tried tracking my Cs, I got stuck on the emotional layer almost immediately. Like, okay, I could say anger, but was it really disappointment or frustration or maybe resentment? It felt like I needed a dictionary of feelings or something.
Oh, yeah, that's so common. People get really tangled up trying to find the perfect label.
Yeah.
Is it a basic emotion? Is it complex? Is love just a mix of joy and safety? Honestly, my advice, don't stress about the labels.
Really?
Yeah, the goal isn't perfect classification. It's the process of noticing, of becoming aware.
So instead of searching for the one right word, maybe use like 5 or 6 words to describe how it actually feels, the
Yeah.
texture of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, pick.
What's its color, its temperature, does it move, describe it. And here's the really crucial part. You have to observe it without judging it.
Ah, okay. No good or bad.
None. You're just describing the C. Remember, all these reactions, even the really uncomfortable ones like anxiety, they evolved for a reason. They were useful alarms at some point.
It's easy to just think anxiety is bad, period. But it is just an alarm, isn't it? A really annoying one sometimes. But its job is to signal a potential threat.
Think of that classic jungle analogy. A lion jumps out, that instant fear. That saves your life. That's appropriate fear, a reaction to a real present danger.
Right.
But if you're safe at home, constantly worry that a lion might somehow appear. That's anxiety. It's fear about a potential, maybe imagined threat. So when you notice the C, anxiety, you don't beat yourself up. You just note it. Okay, alarm's going off. Why?
Yeah.
What's the trigger? What's the underlying belief? It's data.
That shift in perspective, seeing it as data, that helps a lot.
It creates a bit of distance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which you need to analyze it properly.
Yeah, it does. Now, usually when we talk CBT, the focus is all on the negative Cs, right? Getting rid of stress, managing anger. But you mentioned something really interesting before, this idea of a positive C trap. How can feeling good be a problem?
Ah, yes. This is where it gets a bit more subtle. Because positive feelings, positive behaviors, they can actually be unhelpful too if they're driven by a shaky or unhelpful core belief, the B.
But wait, if I'm feeling, say, really happy or proud, why would I want to pick that apart? Isn't happiness the goal? Are we saying joy can be bad now?
It's a great question. We're not saying joy itself is bad. Not at all. What we're questioning is whether that specific instance of joy is actually reinforcing a pattern that causes problems elsewhere.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, let's use that work example you sometimes mention. You get really high praise for a project. That gives you a big positive C, right? You feel validated, happy, maybe a bit of an ego boost.
Yeah, it feels great. Feels like I'm doing well.
Of course. But that feeling, that positive reinforcement, might be strengthening an underlying B belief, like my value comes only from people thinking I'm amazing, so I absolutely cannot let them down.
Ah, I see where this is going.
Right. The consequence is you then feel this immense pressure to take on way too much, to never say no, to constantly chase that next hit of praise.
Yeah.
So the positive C actually fuels burnout, a negative outcome.
So the feeling itself isn't the issue, but the reason I'm chasing it or the pattern it locks me into. That's the problem.
Precisely. Or think about intense romantic relationships. You know, that feeling of constantly wanting to be with someone, overwhelming love, total joy when you're together, strong, positive C.
Sounds pretty good.
It does. But sometimes if you trace it back, that intensity might be covering up a core B fear. Maybe a fear of being alone,
Sure.
or a belief that your self-worth depends entirely on having that partner's constant attention.
So the positive feeling of being together stops you from ever having to face the fear of being alone.
It can, yeah. It becomes a kind of dependency that looks like devotion. Yeah. So whether the C feels intensely good or horribly bad, if it keeps reinforcing an unhelpful B, that underlying pattern is what needs attention. The feeling is just a signal, really.
Wow, okay. The emotion is secondary to the pattern it serves. That's a key insight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shifting gears slightly, tools. I was really intrigued by the mention of using, well, modern tech to maybe speed this up, the C2B detective work, specifically using AI chatbots, prompting them to be like a shadow or a devil's advocate.
It's definitely a modern twist.
Mm-hmm.
A potentially powerful tool for speeding up self-discovery, yes.
Yeah.
But you need to use it carefully, critically.
I actually tried this. I noticed a feeling of aversion, like physically wanting to turn away when I saw homeless people. My first thought, the cognitive C, was just, oh, I don't have any cash.
A common rationalization.
Right. But I pushed the AI, asked it to challenge me, what else could it be? And pretty quickly, it guided me towards a possible B, this hidden, deep fear of personal failure, of ending up like that myself. Honestly, it felt like it shortcut months of journaling.
AI is incredibly good at spotting patterns, connections we might miss. But, and this is a big but, you need to be careful. AI is generally designed to be helpful, to agree, to satisfy the user.
It wants to please you.
Exactly. Which means it can easily lead you down the path of confirmation bias. It might just reflect back what you secretly suspect, make you feel clever for discovering it, without really challenging you to look at other possibilities.
So you have to stay skeptical. You need to actively push it, maybe even ask it for reasons why that B might be wrong or what other Bs could fit the C. You're still driving the process.
You absolutely have to be. You use the tool, you don't let the tool use you. Always question the output. Seek alternative views. Don't just accept it because the AI phrased it nicely.
Okay, that makes sense. One last point of clarity, because this trips me up sometimes, distinguishing A from C. If I just have a thought like, I'm such a failure, is that the trigger, A, or the consequence, C?
Yeah, that's probably the trickiest distinction for many people. Generally, A's are external things that happen to you or around you. People, events, situations. Or sometimes an internal memory can act as an A.
Okay.
C's are your internal reactions to that A, your body's response, your emotions, your behaviors, and, importantly, your subsequent thoughts about the A.
So what's the dividing line? How do I know?
Ask yourself, did this thought start the whole chain reaction? If a memory of an argument, internal A, pops up and then you feel anxious and think, I always mess things up, C, the memory was the A. But if your boss gives you critical feedback, external A, and your immediate internal response is the thought, I'm incompetent, that thought is part of your C.
Ah, okay.
And you'd use that C thought, I'm incompetent, to help you dig for the deeper B belief. Maybe something like, I have to be perfect to be okay.
Got it. A is the input, C is the internal processing and output.
That's a good way to put it. Start by observing the output, the C.
Right. We've covered a lot today.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, thinking about starting this, the main thing is begin with C. Just notice. What did I actually do? How did my body feel? What was the first thought that popped up in that specific situation?
Yes. Be specific. Track those consequences. Keep a little diary. Make notes, even just mental notes. Look at concrete moments, that brief argument, that sudden heart flutter, that urge to get praise online. Don't try and solve my whole life is wrong on day one. Start small.
I can definitely vouch for the fact that it's an ongoing thing. I mean, I'm years into this, and I still find myself noticing A's and C's and tracing them back. It doesn't really stop.
And that's okay. That's actually great. The aim isn't to reach some fantasy land of perfect mental peace where nothing ever triggers you. It's about getting a richer, more stable life by understanding yourself better. There's real satisfaction in figuring out your own mind's machinery.
So, before anyone even thinks about changing things, trying to fix their C's, what's the absolute first step? The foundation.
Radical acceptance.
Okay.
Before you try to improve or tweak anything, you have to first just fully accept yourself. Right here, right now, exactly as you are, with all the anxieties, the tricky C's, the positive traps, everything. You are already okay, already whole in this moment. The understanding, the change, it grows from that place of accepting what is.
That's a really profound place to pause. Wow. Okay. So much more to dig into, especially around emotions within C and those automatic thoughts. We'll definitely explore that more before we finally tackle the big one, the B, a core belief.
Sounds good. Looking at the patterns and those automatic thoughts, that's really the bridge that leads us straight to B.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for walking us through that, and thank you all for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.